Beautiful people, it's the time again that we do chit-chatting here on Ghana's biggest platform. This is the page. This is where when we open that chapter and we're looking at it, we go into details and we get those who matter when it comes to sports development in this country. And today I've been joined by a nice gentleman. I call him a nice gentleman. His portfolio is big. But today I want to refer to him as a philanthropist in the sports ecosystem. This man is doing great things for Ghanaian sportsmen and women and trying to help really tap into the God-given talent of our athletes and then take them from the local level to the global stage. So he is here and we'll delve into a lot of issues. But we're having this time with no other person than Kelvin Frey. He's the CEO of Just Keep Going, Moving, everything. He doesn't want to just stop at anything. He's in the house again. The last time he was here, he was taking us through AI in sports, how Ghanaian athletes can really use AI to boost their performance and stuff. And that discussions will bring it back. But today we're looking at the bigger picture. He's been in this country for a while now, doing lots of research. So today I just want to tease him to tell us a little bit of what he has seen in terms of his research, what he has done and what he intends doing, the role he intends doing, what he really wants to do, help the National Sports Authority, help sports federations here and there, blah, blah, blah. Kevin, most welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me, Theo. It's always a great time to see you. So I appreciate you. I appreciate GBC here, GTV, and great show you have. Your question, what have I seen here? I have seen a human spirit and an incredible amount of endurance from athletes, from the people of Ghana that like genuinely inspire me to just keep going every day. You know, I came here back in December for my first time to Ghana after sponsoring 3 Ghanaian weightlifters to the World Championships. And since then, we've been working as closely with different athletes, asking questions about federations, how the business of sports is engaged here in Ghana, and maybe what we can do to help boost it. The athletic talent is off the charts. I got to start eating more jollof, because whatever's in that rice. I mean, the weightlifters I've worked with, Marie Coco Agba Hughes, 15th at the World Championships, with really no support coming from Ghana. So whatever she did in her training, I mean, it's impressive. Gabriel Osu, after some controversy, comes to rise up and win 3 silver medals for Ghana. I mean, you watch people like the athletes, and I'll use a sports reference, jump over every hurdle they come across and then still go on to success. I want to help support that. And I want to see more of it. I want more medals for Ghana. I want more athletes where can we just keep going to achieve the success they've dreamed of since they were children.
Somebody saw me at the stadium and said, you, this gentleman, you want to be a Ghanaian. Do you want to be a Ghanaian?
I'll tell you a funny story.
Or are you a Ghanaian?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I was working on some things. I use AI a lot in my business. And I talk to my AI all the time about business, about my personal life. And somebody had asked me that. And, I was talking to it. And I asked it. I said, how do I explain that I'm not Ghanaian at all, but I still want to support Ghanaian sports? And my AI comes back and he says, well, Kevin, you're wrong. You are part Ghanaian. I was like, excuse me? He says, yeah, you're 0.1% Ghanaian. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, when you came to Ghana, you had a broken tooth. You went to a dentist in Ghana. You got the tooth replaced in Ghana. Your tooth is Ghanaian. That makes you part Ghanaian.
I like that. So you by the time you say, Jack, after 5 years, you'll be a full Ghanaian. Because currently, if it's 1%.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe I start breaking all the pieces and I get them fixed here.
but sincerely, let's look at the real athletes that we talk about. Why is it that there's this perception, I call it perception.
Sure.
From your research, is it the absence of enough knowledge about the potential Ghanaian athletes have? Or it's just the lack of interest in pushing the Ghanaian athlete to reach its ultimate?
It's a great question. It's not a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of athletic talent. I think it really comes down to a lack of systems, right? Like in the US, Europe, Asia, the systems are in place, from financial systems to training systems, and it just helps push things along. When you have the right system in place and you can understand the data going into it, you can understand what competitions the athletes need to get to, and you can plan in advance. Because us as humans, like, we have a lot going on in our own lives. So if you don't have the system right, sometimes things slip. I also think some of the federations, unfortunately, have just chosen not to support their athletes. It's what I've seen. And it's not only that I've seen it. Over the last 9 months, I've been here, and I talked to athletes, I've talked to sports people, I've talked to just people in the street, which is where I really have found the most valuable advice and understanding about things. Is certain federations have just chosen not to support their athletes, even when the international community recognizes them. You know, I mentioned I took Marie Coco.
Yes, Marie is a case study. Last time you came here, you talked about her.
Yeah.
Marie is a case study.
Yeah.
Gabriel, the national captain.
Right.
It's another one you are in. The other, but it seems your love for sports is there, but there is this bias for weightlifting. I don't know why. But okay, Ghanaians, this is the lady we're talking about. That's the star. I call her the star. She's one lady that is really pushing. She has been on the world stage.
Yes.
Flying the flag of Ghana very high. Marie, that's Marie.
Yeah.
And currently, as we speak, there is a story about her that I want her to come here for us to celebrate her.
Yeah.
As we speak now, the world has given her. Well, I don't want to take the wind out of her, but she will join us very soon, and then she'll be talking to us about how it feels like to be a lone ranger, doing all these things. And,
yeah. So I met Marie. She was training in the snow in Connecticut, a Ghanaian, in the snow, lifting weights. And I had to see, if you're doing this with no support, I have to go see, you know, what are the other athletes like? What is going on here that you're all so strong, you're all so destined, or you feel destined to push yourself to this next stage. And again, she placed 15th at the World Championships, which is, I mean, it's incredible. You know, how many people are in the world? 7 billion? So 15 out of 7 billion? I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? And she was recently recognized. You know, we'll talk about it, because I think athletic success should be trumpeted, even if she's not here. Marie was just recognized by the International Olympic Committee, who awarded her an athlete travel grant based on her past success. The International Olympic Committee, I don't think anybody can dispute, is one of the high, if not the highest authority in sports worldwide. I mean, they know what they're talking about, right? I think we can all agree. They know who is and who is not an athlete. They know who should and should not be competing. So out of all the tens of thousands of athletes worldwide, 500 were selected, only 500.
So out of the many, only 500.
Only 500 athletes.
I think I have that little a clip of her when she was on the one of the games on the international stage, and where nobody knew she was a Ghanaian, and then she comes out and says Ghana, and on that day she was the only Ghanaian, and so based on that, and out of the lot they picked, then it landed on her.
Yeah.
And then today everybody's talking about it.
And they should. When an international body as respected and well known as the International Olympic Committee, Athlete 365, and a company like Airbnb says, hey, this is an athlete we want to support. They're not from Ghana. They have no attachment here. Very impartial. And they're saying, we want to see what you do. They're messaging her on her Instagram. Mimi Catherine, go check her out. And they're saying, we want to see where you travel. Now, unfortunately, the Weightlifting Federation has chosen to remove her from the World Championships this year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I sat down with Ken, the Secretary General, personally. I said, Gabriel and Marie, they've been invited to the Commonwealth Games. They've been invited to the World Championships. I'll pay. The registration's free. You don't have to do anything but send an email, and they refuse to do it.
You don't mean it?
No, I mean it. 100% I mean it.
This is national TV.
Yes. The Ghana Weightlifting Federation has chosen not to register athletes that have been selected and honored from bodies from around the world because they just... Here's the thing. I know this is a complicated thing, but I really dislike when people get in the way of other people's success. So I will talk about it.
You're saying there wasn't any reason? You mean they just decided not to include their names? Which it will not cost Ghana anything?
No, I was going to pay for it. I told them that. I said, I'll prepay the flights. I will prepay the hotel. It won't cost you anything. All you have to do is send an email. Marie reached out to the Indian Weightlifting Federation, and their response was, we've tried talking to Ghana Weightlifting. They will not answer their emails. It's very concerning for us that your federation is not answering emails. Now,
have you gotten in touch? Have you gotten in touch with the federation itself?
I sat in the swag office where Ken works. He's the Secretary General, and I relayed many concerns to him. And his answer to me is, we're not sending any athletes to international competition this year.
He said the Ghana Weightlifting Federation has taken a decision not to send any.
That's what Ken told me in front of Marie.
And you didn't prompt him that you are willing to.
I did.
To fund everything, and then.
I did, and he said he was going to get in touch with the president of the federation and ask. And the date's passed. And now there's nothing Marie can do to make it to the World Championships because they chose not to send her registration in. And I find that unacceptable on every single level of sports professionalism.
I am finding it very difficult to.
Yeah, I paid for the athletes to the World Championships, the African Championships, along with assistance from some other sponsors. We were more than willing to get them to the Commonwealth Games again. They were supposed to compete in India, where Gabriel could go on and defend his 3 silver medals, and they chose not to let him go. They chose not to let Marie go. And when it comes to the business of sports, sponsors are going to look at this and say, well, Kevin, like, we worked with you, getting them there. Why aren't they following up? We're trying to fund. We're trying to sponsor. Why aren't they going? I have no good answer for you. So I'd like to know, why aren't they going?
I'm speechless now because Ken should have given you maybe a concrete reason by saying that, these tell you that the federation itself has taken a decision. The executives have taken a decision that they won't permit any Ghanaian athletes, whether qualified or not, that they are not paying a dime for anything. They are not going to waste any resources from their own end, that the athletes shouldn't go. Is that the understanding they made you believe? Yes, I told them the trip would be 100% funded by Just Keep Going Incorporated and other partners, and they decided to refuse any Ghanaian athlete to go. I can't say it as simple as that. I said, I will pay for it now. We'll sit here right now, and I'll buy the flight now. I will prepay everything, and they chose to steal athletic success from Ghana. That's the only way I can look at it. It bothers me. I know I'm American, but I'm a sports fan first. And unsportsmanlike conduct like this, when you're blocking someone's career, is going to bother me in many ways. And I think you guys see what I'm doing around here. I'm trying to support different athletes, and I'm trying to help people get the tools to find their own success. You know, they're already working incredibly hard, so why is the federation making it harder? Just because they don't like someone? I find that unacceptable. You feel it has been reduced to personal thing? Yes. Yes, because if the International Olympic Committee is on... So this is the lady we're talking about. Yeah. This is Marie. This was one of the world events that she participated in, and the World Body Saw. And then today, as we speak, she's among the few ladies and men, gentlemen that have won the scholarship. Right. Yeah, and as she won the scholarship, she was still trying to support other athletes, knowing, and this is my story. She, I'm not putting words in her mouth. These are the things I've seen and heard myself. So, she was going to support a young athlete to the youth championships, and was even told by the manager of the gym, some guy named One Face, I think, she wasn't allowed there. Ghana Weightlifting wants no part of her, which, as the national record holder for a country, I find an appalling way to treat an athlete. You're saying that the national gym, when it was reopened, you guys were there? Yes, we were. And you're saying now on national TV that she has been told not to come closer to the gym? Correct. And that probably stems from the fact that Michael Abatzi came to me, rubbing fingers together, saying he needed something. And I'm going to say this, guys, and all the federations, you can't be blocking athletes because of your own wallet. I'm going to say this directly to the camera.
When it comes to getting your athletes to competition, that is the most important thing a sports federation, a sports team can do. The athletes are the reason fans come, so when you're blocking them from competition to line your own pockets, sponsors are going to go running. We don't want the controversy with all this. And I'm sitting here, I'm trying. But the people they have in the federation there, it's just, I mean, it's unacceptable.
These are serious,
Yes.
I'll put it allegations.
Yes.
These are serious allegations.
Yes, it is. And I'm well aware, I'm sitting here on national television talking about this thing because I've tried going up to the federation, I've tried talking to the coach. Blocking your national record holder, one of the strongest females in your nation who is consistently funded out of her own pocket, her own competition, because of personal reasons is not okay. And nobody should think it's okay. Yeah. So there's a lot there.
Have you officially put this on paper? I've seen you interact with the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Mr. Yampofuankra. I've seen you have interactions with the GOC president and other federation heads.
You know, I'm going to say...
Have you officially whispered to them? Maybe the picture they're painting for you is not exactly what...
You know, I almost, and I have to, you know, I love what Yao Mpofuankra is doing with sports, and the way he's building things up is like actually inspirational, because after my experience with Ghana weightlifting, I almost said, I'll go somewhere else. I don't need the hassle. When we applied to send the athletes to Mauritius, which was well documented, that the president flew there just to tell them they couldn't compete. I mean, things are known, and you know, I like to think things are moving in the right direction there, but I almost left Ghana after running into this. You know, people asking these things, doing these things, it's gonna push people like me out of the country if, you know, we're confronted with that, because it's just not how we're used to it. And when it comes to sports, all we want to see is the athletes get into competition, and when personal reasons block it, honestly, it's gonna make people wonder if it's...
You feel all these things that are happening is out of personal, not the professional way.
Nothing to do with weightlifting, nothing to do with professionalism. Not a single thing. But then going on past this and seeing how diligent Yao has been and how he's working with athletes, how he's working to improve things, I said, well, okay, there's people that are going to block success, but then there's people who are going to strive for it, who are going to seek out how to succeed, like Yao, and I see the sports minister doing incredible things, trying to support, trying to build new infrastructure. You know, President Muhammad's messaging, another reason I'm here. It's individuals like that who you see are standing up to try and get things moving in the right way. It's kind of why I stuck around. But things like the Weightlifting Federation, they have to be looked at, they have to be probably investigated. And I know what I'm saying is big. You know, coming on TV as a foreigner and saying these things is not something I wanted to do. But if I don't talk about it, I'm not sure anybody else will.
So right now, as you speak, what happens to Mary? The Olympic Committee has granted her that scholarship.
Yeah.
What does it mean? She loses it or what?
So she has a year to use it. Unfortunately, because the Weightlifting Federation didn't register her for India, she couldn't go there. And no matter what anybody does now, she can't go to the World Championships because they didn't sign the free paperwork. It's not even signed. I'm sorry. You don't even have to actually physically sign. You can click a button and send an email. That's all they had to do. But there's nothing even the Olympic bodies can now do to allow her to compete at the World Championships. So she has to focus on next year. And because the Weightlifting Federation has chosen to block her for the last half of this year, we now have to talk about it so that we can make sure the right systems are in place.
The scholarship is for this year?
It's for 1 year, I think, 12 months. I believe it's for 12 months.
So the 12 months, it starts from this year?
Yeah, yeah. And she can use it to travel to a training camp. I mean, we have some connections with the British weightlifting. You know, Dave Sawyer stepped in her corner at the World Championships and coached her. And his comments were, I mean, one of the most respected names in weightlifting worldwide. He's been in Olympic weightlifting for 40 years. And he says, wow, you know, she can get somewhere. So it's not even just the Olympic Committee. It's other federations are saying, you know, the athletes here are great. But unfortunately, they also know there's blockers.
If as we speak, the Minister for Sports and Recreation is watching us.
Yeah.
Like he said with me.
Yeah.
Will you be able to tell him what you're telling me?
I'm
because
happy
it's
to
on
tell.
record.
Yeah, it's on record.
What you're saying is on record.
Yes, it is.
That Ghana is not paying anything. Somebody is willing to sponsor an athlete,
Right.
and the federation says
No.
we don't like individual sponsorship.
Yes.
And won't let them go for no reason, for a world championship that will lead to points build up and
Yes.
everything. He said no.
They said no. They said no.
And the world body has given her recognition, given her scholarship
Yes.
to come, and Ghana says no.
Yes.
You can tell the minister this.
Yes, I can tell the minister this. It's just documented. It's very simple. There's been conversations had with, the Indian Federation trying to get her there, and they even said Ghana weightlifting's not answering. There's messages on this. They're just not answering their emails, and there's nothing they can do.
I know the weightlifting president.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a very respectable man in Ghanaian politics.
Maybe it's the people working for him. I don't know. I haven't actually spoken to him about it, but I spoke to Ken, his Secretary General, who said no Ghanaian athletes to international competitions, and I find that unacceptable. I think as a national weightlifting federation, your only job is to create the pathways to get the athletes to international competition. But, this is where we can bring AI in to maybe help some things, because we can build models around fair selection. I think I've recently been named to the International Board of Ethics in Artificial Intelligence. We can program in the right things where, hey, you're training right, you have the international results, and we can allow AI to look and say, hey, should you go, should you not go? Not as a final selector, but as an advisor. And I think leaning on technologies to make sure these things don't happen, to make sure funds are coming in properly, is a must-have for Ghanaian sports, because in my analysis, how do I say this? Okay. In most countries, the sports economy makes up 3 to 4% of national GDP. Here in Ghana, it makes up 0.2%. With just a little investment, with the right systems, I have no problem seeing that the sports economy in Ghana could grow to $1 billion, which is 1% of your GDP, with the right systems. It's not about one athlete. It's really about creating jobs for Ghana, allowing people to succeed here, to come in, invest, to build companies using sports, bringing sports technology in. It's about creating pathways for the athletes and for the citizens here to do more, to be inspired to do more, which is why I'm so animated about this. It hurts me. It hurts me when people step in the way of other people's success.
I think we'll do a follow-up on this one, and then let Ghanaians really know whether indeed, I'll try and then get, I know the president for Ghana weightlifting, Honorable Jerry Ameshai. He has been on this studio, and we talked about weightlifting and stuff. So I'm surprised this information is coming out there that even when the world body has given her the recognition, Ghana weightlifting says we don't want her. Hey. So we are not filling her name. Not that it will cost Ghana anything.
You know what I hope? You know what I hope? Because I know the president of the Weightlifting Federation is incredibly busy. He's involved in politics. He's doing own things, I'm sure, to support the nation here. I could completely understand if things didn't get to his desk and if it was other people, and I hope it's that. And I hope he listens to this and says, oh, let me step in and solve these issues right quick.
So right now,
as a leader should do.
If it happens that, okay, they respond to their mail.
Yeah.
Is it too late?
Oh, for this year's competition, yes. Marie can't go anywhere because they chose not to send a free email, because they chose not to answer emails from the different world bodies. So unfortunately, because fair competition in the rest of the world is something they stick to, she just can't be registered. So let's fix these issues for next year and make sure Gabriel Osu can go ahead and compete on behalf of Ghana. Let's make sure.
What are the likely ramifications? Ghana, they know they've selected Marie, she didn't go, and then you're looking at next year. What will happen if the world body decides that, okay, Ghanaian athletes, we don't know what will happen? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't have the data on me about when the last Ghana athlete was giving an Olympic recognition like this. I can think maybe of who the last one was, but I don't want to say other people's names on this when I'm saying things like this.
Okay.
So what I think would happen is that they would say, well, we're trying to do our part. Why isn't Ghana Federation doing its part?
Okay. The last time, we'll be checking out from the studio, but this gentleman, I saw him walking around. He said he went what? You went donating basketballs and stuff to Ghana prisons team. Tell me a little bit about it. How did you do it? Why did you do it?
Man, I love basketball.
You like basketball?
I love basketball.
Aside weightlifting and other sports disciplines, you were at the Black Stars game. You were there, jubilating.
Yeah.
Ghana Mali, you were there.
I love all sports. The game was fantastic. It was great. You know, I loved seeing that go right after half. And yes, so, you know, I went out to Ghana prisons. I saw their facilities, and I noticed their basketballs were a little underinflated. They were old, and I said, well, let's just get some basketballs.
So these are some of the pictures. Yes. So you just saw it and bam, you said you want to just help?
Yeah, like, let me get you some basketballs. Do you have a problem with, like, equipment? Let me help what I can do. So we were sitting there watching, I think it was the volleyball team practice, and I said, let me just go get some volleyballs. Let me just go get some basketballs and do this now. And I got in the car with someone, and he drove me to Decathlon, picked up the basketballs, we brought them right back, gifted them. It's simple. When business comes in to support sports and athletes, things get done quickly and right. You know.
So how many balls did you give them? Just one ball, or I mean, what did you?
Let's see. I gave the men's team 8 basketballs. I gave the women's team 8 basketballs. They only had 8 basketballs. I had to buy Decathlon out. They only had 8 female basketballs. I'm sorry. We bought volleyballs. We bought some handballs. I bought a couple of speakers so that they could listen to some music while they were training, because sports should be fun, and getting away from all the other stuff. This is fun for me. It's fun offering pathways for athletes just to play better, to enjoy their careers.
What was the reaction from the players, officials, when you just pop up and said, "Oh, did you tell them you were going to bring something, or they were just having their normal thing and then just bumped in with it?"
Yeah, I was sitting there watching the volleyball practice, and I said, "Hey, is it okay if I just buy you guys some new equipment?" And they said, "Of course." And they were happy. They were excited. You know, everyone came in for the picture. They thanked me. They were very incredibly respectful about it. I appreciate the director of prisons and everyone there, the sports administrators, for allowing me to just do something quickly, simply to help support them, their athletes. And it's the same reason I bought so many tickets to the Mali game, and I started giving them to athletes, because I think athletes should have the right to see their home country compete. You know, everyone supports Ghana football here. It's very clear. Everyone's very passionate about it, but I know the athletes don't make much. So if I can help support with tickets, if I can help support with some gear.
So how many tickets did you buy? Because you gave me 2 to give to friends. I did.
Yeah, I think I bought like 20 tickets or so. I bought 10 of the VIP. I gave them out. I bought 5 of the lower VIP. I gave them out, and then I bought some other center aisle rows. I wanted people to have access to the game and not be blocked out of it.
How time runs fast. I'll get you here again.
Yeah.
We'll delve into your new role on the international body in terms of AI, for us to really sit down and then dissect what AI can do to Ghanaian sports into details. We'll get time to do this one.
Absolutely.
But I'm hoping that these revelations you've brought out there, officialdom will really look at it and then try our possible best if there need be. So we don't make it look like it's a personal hatred or a personal something that just sending an email as an official that an athlete wants to participate in an international event, and then somebody says, I am not going to send that email. I am just not going to do it. Whether we pay for it or you pay for it, we don't care. We have the power, and so we will not let you go. When it happens that way, hoisting the flag of Ghana on the international stage will be difficult.
Right.
And if you don't take care, you're not only doing that particular athlete, there is a future, the next generation coming, the pathway will be blocked and they might not succeed. So, Kevin, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
it's always insightful. But we'll do another one again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for doing the watching. That's been the page. This is where we get those who matter. And every detail here that you hear, it's official from the athletes, so or the reps that come here. So any comments you see or you hear, they are responsible for the comments, because this is where Ghana matters. So when you come here and you speak, you can be held accountable. He said this on this platform, you say yes, and then you go and answer for it. So, Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation, Mr. Kofi Adams, we salute you and your team out there, Wanda and Co, Chief Director and everybody there. We salute you for the good work you are doing. NSA, Mr. Yampofankra, Veronica, Gideon, Mr. Jemfi, everybody out there, Auntie Christie, everybody at the NSA, from the security to everywhere. We say thank you very much. Roger out there, you're playing tennis currently as we speak, hosting 6 weeks of tennis championship at the stadium. And the rest of the guys that are doing the watch, we say thank you very much. And then do enjoy the rest of our programs. As for Kelvin, we'll meet at the flip side. Bye for now.